The only streamer you guys know to go live early in the business. But let me make sure everything is good. If you guys are just tuning in, this is going to be a long one or a little bit longer than normal videos that I do, but we're going to do Manchester City versus West Ham preview. And if you guys are just tuning in, just watching, or just new to the channel, this is Blue is Our City, Manchester City fan channel. Bro, we talk about everything Manchester City news, mainly focused on the Premier League. But today, that's what we're going to be talking about because we're back to business in the Premier League. Big win against, in the Champions League. We needed that, or at least, a win getting us in the right direction against Gladbach. So we got one leg there. But today, we're going to be looking at Manchester City versus West Ham. Let me make sure. I'm going to try something new. Bear with me. I'm really new at this, but I'm going to try to share my screen a little bit today, try to see how this StreamYard is going to treat me. But, we're really going to be looking at this game. And the first thing I think I want to talk about is, man, we got to keep the win streak going. Reason being is, I think from what I last counted, I think this might be 18 wins or 18, matches played, no defeats if we manage to get a result here. City have been on such a phenomenal streak in the Premier League that it's just been crazy, absolutely mad. I think the last time we lost in the league was actually that learning experience that we had against Tottenham. So we just been rocking and rolling along, in the Premier League. So hopefully we can continue that momentum. But really, when you take a look at West Ham, bro, West Ham is not a joke to really be dealing with. If you really think about it, like they've overachieved so much for what David Moyes has done, taking over his time there at West Ham. They've just now signed Lingard, and Lingard looked good against Tottenham. So we know a little bit about West Ham, but shout out to them, man, because the Hammers are flying. We know it's not going to be an easy game, but in my opinion, we really have to kind of be mindful of ourselves going into this match. And the reason being is that, we playing against a team that is formidable in the Premier League, no matter what, other people around Big Six, all of these other teams may think about West Ham, but they've been performing phenomenal this year. So we really can't take this game lightly. And when you think about it, this is one of those games that could possibly, make most teams slip up. But knowing that we're Manchester City, knowing that we've been so solid of late, I got faith that the team will get the job done, but I'm not going to be surprised if West Ham give us a good challenge. And that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about it out there. But, West Ham is looking phenomenal, but also is Manchester City, bro. We flying. We doing our thing, not only in the league. I've heard some banter, some chatter back and forth about, the league's already wrapped up. And I want to silence that. I want to silence that, man. On this channel, we like to keep it real. Yes, we're confident at the moment. But anything can happen, bro. It's a long season. And really, when you think about it, it's what, 13 matches, 12, 13 matches left to play. A lot of points still to be had out there. Anything can happen. We started off the season in not so good fashion, really looking bad, up until we got that Tottenham win. And that Tottenham defeat, rather. And then that kind of made us look in the mirror a little bit about what we've been doing as a team. And now we propelled into this nice position that we tend to find ourselves in right now. But, we still have so many more matches to go. So let's not look at it like, the job is all done right now, because yes, we're 10 points ahead, but we still have 13 other games left to play in the season. So we have to really take that into account. But also, you could look at the season in thirds if you wanted to. You could say, okay, we were not playing so well up until that Tottenham game, which is probably only to be fair, about 9 matches, something like that, so it was only a handful of matches. But now we've been in this extended run, or you could break it out into quarters, whatever you feel. But the point being is that, if we slip up and we let our foot off the gas, from a mental standpoint, thinking that the league is already wrapped up, but we could be in for, a bad run going forward. So, honestly, I think everybody's really, excited about what we're doing in the Premier League, and we should be excited about that, but we can't afford to have 80 slip-ups. And in my opinion, West Ham could possibly be a slip-up. We know that they have quality players, and we're going to get into their squad as we go along. But I think it's first, we need to look at the table. So bear with me, guys. I'm fairly new at doing this. I haven't really been having a time just with the work schedule to make a lot of content centered around Manchester City. I definitely try to cover previews and reviews of games, but now I want to bring myself and make myself more available to this community, because at the end of the day, it's all about you guys. I'm just a person up here talking, but I like really engaging with people who are Manchester City fans or football fans in general, or just shout me out. Let me know what you guys think about the talking points that we talk about on the show. You got some feedback, and then sometimes we welcome banter. I do videos, and sometimes United fans want to jump in, Chelsea fans want to jump in, or people just want to jump in and say all types of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all about you guys in this community that we're building. So let's look at the table, man. Let's take a look at the table. So bear with me. Let's see how I do this real quick. I'm trying this out. Take my time a little bit doing this. All right. So now I'm going to share this. Let's share these tabs, baby. Let's go right here. So let's see if I bring this up on stream. Let's kind of move this banner out the way. Oh, I'm getting nicer. So I don't know if you guys can really see that the way I can see that, but I got this image, offline. But really, when you look at us, 25 matches played, man, Manchester City, 25 matches played. To this point, we are 18 wins, 5 draws, 2 losses. And I think the most exceptional part about this, and a lot of people really talk about this, is really our defense. Really, when you talk about giving only up 15 goals, I mean, that's got to be on par with, look at the likes of Chelsea, but Tottenham probably don't let in many goals either, just being a Jose Mourinho type squad. So it's really impressive when I look at it now. I see Chelsea's only allowed 25 goals, but point being is that, we've taken the team that's let in like the fewest amount of goals and then added on upon that, or, even subtracted away from that. If you're Tottenham or Leicester with 27 goals allowed, looking at us at 15, that's highly impressive. That's what I really want to talk about. And then, honestly, looking at United was there for a second, and there's a lot of games left to play, but, it's really remarkable where we find ourselves right now. 59 points, leading the league, 10 points ahead of United. Leicester's had some slip-ups during the week here with the European competitions, but, they're still right there when it comes to the Premier League, and it's remarkable what they've been doing. But let's get to the main talking point, which is really West Ham, man. You look at West Ham, I mean, who would have thought that they would be sitting at 4th right now? Me personally, I would have never thought that. So if they even make it into the Champions League, that's just way overachieving, in my opinion. And I know Hammers fans have really be happy about their found success this year, not only within the team, but within the organization, within the community and supporters all around the world. So that's really what you got to look at for them. But the way I see it is, man, if they make it to that Champions League level and they just keep doing their thing in the Champions League, that's going to be remarkable achievement for them. Even if they finish in the Europa League competition, in those places, man, that's a good look for West Ham. But as you can see, I tend not to believe these things sometimes when it looks at last 5 games, you know what I mean? Because sometimes the stuff isn't accurate, in my opinion. But 25 matches played, 13 wins, 6 draws, and then 6 losses, sitting at 45 points. But really, at the end of the day, they just come off of what, 2-1 win versus Tottenham, down there in London, London derby, if you will. So, looking at them, I mean, it's crazy the way they find themselves. And, looking at that game, I think it was Antonio who got a goal early on for them. And I know Lingard was active since he's been there, and then he getting a goal. So that's crazy. And kind of getting the goal against Mourinho, that's kind of wow, So I really think they've been overachieving. But let's look at some of their standout players. I mean, I'm looking at on my phone, so bear with me. I'm looking on my phone, but I want to look at the players that played against Tottenham specifically, because they have really threats, in my opinion, kind of lined up everywhere. When you think about it, we know Antonio is like speed, power, pace merchant. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, he's a very strong physical player. And I know early on when I've been watching him throughout my time in the Premier League, he fits in that striker role. Sometimes I'll see him go out wide and run at players. So he's got that strength, he's got that pace, and then now he's had that goal form. Lingard playing in that 10 position, just provides that energy. His time at Manchester United may be up, may not be up. We'll see how that transaction plays out and how they plan to get on with that deal, or whether a deal is going to happen or not. But, he's been playing phenomenal in that 10 position for them, just providing energy. And now he's picking up goals. So you can see how, West Ham is looking formidable against any team that they play. Then you got Mr. Cresswell back there. The Diop, Diop is playing there. I like Diop as a defender. You know what I mean? I've always liked Diop. I've always wanted to see him possibly at City a backup position. But now that we signed Ake, that may not be necessary. But point being is that, man, this is a quality team. And, honestly, not for nothing, you can't never sleep on Declan Rice, because Declan Rice has just been a standout. And when I look at somebody like Declan Rice, I mean, not only is the brother tall, but he has the passing game, and he's only going to get better because he's such a young player. So I think that's really remarkable for West Ham. And like I said, looking at the table, for them to find themselves just in that Champions League spot right now, you just gotta really admire this, because they could have faltered at any other point and start slipping up and losing games, and then adding Lingard to their team. Mark Noble's getting a little older, but Mark Noble's been one of their captains throughout my time watching West Ham United. So it's really good to see them doing what they need to do as far as a team. But let's get into. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen there. So honestly, at the end of the day, it's about City, and as we talk about this preview, anybody that might just be joining Westchester. What am I thinking about? Upstate New York. What am I thinking about? But Manchester City versus West Ham preview here. Now we talked about West Ham a little bit. Now let's look at Manchester City. And I had to pull an image here from Google. So let me see this and see if I can share this with you guys. Normally, I used to share these things a lot more, but I want to take my time and really learn how to do this until I fully learn how to migrate and do OBS a little bit. But right now I'm trying out this StreamYard. So bear with me, guys. All right. So I want to share my screen and just really want to talk about Manchester City squad really overall. And it's funny how I had this image, and I'm really using this for the pitches. If you really think about the players that I really want to focus on as I look at this, I want to focus on who potentially needs to start in this game, or who potentially needs to get action in this game from my standpoint. These are the players that I really want to see play in this game, or get some time, man. I mean, we've seen Sergio Aguero come on and that Champions League game toward the end for Gabriel Jesus when we played against Gladbach. But really, when you think about it, Sergio's really been on the bench for us, for about the last 3 games, getting a chance to see him play. So hopefully, Pep, please let us see Sergio Aguero in the league, man, because it's just so good to see him, not only for what he can bring for the team, but he needs to get his legs underneath him. And obviously he has not been rushed. And I think that that's part of the approach here, is that we've been letting Sergio just kind of get his rest and making sure he's ready, because every time we try to integrate him back into the team, forcefully or due to circumstances, due to limitations within our squad, it just has backfired this season. So why not use this season to say, look, Sergio hasn't really been with us consistently for most part of the year, but we can have Sergio going forward to the end of this year. And then I think that would just be, icing on the cake, if you will. But Sergio is obviously one of those players I definitely want to see playing in this game. And anybody that knows anything about Manchester City, or you're a fan of football, I think it's hilarious how we all want to talk about Pep Guardiola's potential starting lineups, but honestly, I don't know anybody that gets these things right. Pep Guardiola is a specialist at making sure you have no idea who will be starting this game. So like I mentioned, I definitely want to see Sergio come on. It doesn't have to be him starting the game, but I think it will be very important for Sergio to at least get minutes in this game, right? We saw him come on for Gabriel Jesus. I want to say really around the 80-minute mark. So he's getting a little bit of fitness there, but let's try to up that instead of 10, 15 minutes. Let's try to see if maybe we can get 30 minutes out of Sergio, or 40 minutes. I think starting Sergio Aguero would be a little bit too much, in my personal opinion. Let me know out there what you guys think, but I really think that's what's going to really happen with Sergio. Hopefully we can get Sergio just some minutes, continuously build that fitness, because he's going to be vital for us maybe in other competitions, maybe not so much in the Premier League. I think he still has a lot to prove in the Premier League because of Sergio Aguero, and he's capital awesome. He's Sergio all-time greatest Aguero to Manchester City fans. So it's important to see Sergio out there anytime we can. Pardon me, it gets thirsty around here, but I definitely want to see Sergio. And another person I want to highlight is my man, John Stones, right here. I really want to see John Stones play. I know we saw him in the Premier League game last we played. We didn't see him in the Champions League game. We saw him against Arsenal. Didn't see him against a Champions League team, so Mönchengladbach rather. I definitely want to have a chance to see John back there, right? But it'd be interesting to see what Guardiola does, right? Because you could say to yourself, or Guardiola could say to himself, it's like, John and Laporte, and maybe give Ruben Diaz a rest in this game. I would love to see that. Oh man, let's get my man Nathan. Maybe this is not the game for Nathan Ake. I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but maybe I definitely want to see, Ake at some point. But for this particular game, I definitely want to see John back there and maybe Emerick Laporte to see how they get on. Or if he decides Ruben Diaz and Stones, I can go with that too, because knowing that we're playing against West Ham, Pep doesn't like to tinker. Well, I'm not going to say tinker with the team, but he doesn't want to send the wrong approach from a mentality standpoint of the fact that we're making so many subs and maybe we're taking West Ham light. I don't think that that's the mindset of Manchester City. I don't think that that's the mindset of a person like Pep Guardiola. So I really want to see John just kind of get back in there. Be interested to see what he does at right back. I think it's very vital that, look at Kyle Walker right there. It's vital that we see Kyle Walker continuous, but do you let João Cancelo get a break in this game? And I think it's important to maybe see Kyle Walker at that right back position this particular game. So what I'm thinking in my head is I think Kyle Walker on playing right back. John Stones, Laporte, John Stones, Diaz brings me on the left back, right? There's a possibility we could see my man Zinchenko over here. See, I got to scroll all the way over here to see my man Zinchenko. I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen. Oh, you definitely can. See, learn how to work this thing. But, honestly, it would be nice to see Zinchenko play in this game. But there's somebody else I want to see play. Honestly, I really think this is a game for Benjamin Mendy, because one thing we are learning is, a lot of people say, oh, man, I want to see João Cancelo at left back because he's been doing so phenomenal. And I welcome that at any day, but João Cancelo's been playing a lot for us. Let's let him get a bit of a break in this game, and let's put Mendy out there, because at some point we got to find out what we have with Mendy. Like, I know some City fans, and it's just kind of my thoughts on the situation. A lot of City fans out there rather see Benjamin Mendy leave for one reason or another. I believe in Benjamin Mendy. I think Benjamin Mendy's not been given the greatest amount of chances, but he has been given some chances. Some due to the fact that his form hasn't been there. Some due to the fact that he just had so many fitness-related issues throughout his time since the Centurion season. So it's just really weird dynamic with Mendy. We saw Mendy early on in the league campaign, and we didn't see that much of Zinchenko. Now, I know sometimes Mendy likes to get forward and not the best defensively sometimes, so maybe that's Pep's thinking. Zinchenko does offer a lot as far as stability. I don't think Zinchenko's the best fullback going forward, but I like the way Zinchenko's not only been with the club for so long and had to adapt to playing that position similar to Fabio Delph when we had Fabio Delph, but he's worked his way into learning how to play that left back role for us over season after season after season. And let's not forget, Zinchenko was one of the original members that came in with Pep Guardiola alongside Eric Garcia. So it's a toss-up between seeing, Zinchenko play left back this year, or this particular game versus West Ham, or is it Mendy? I believe it should be Mendy, just to see what we have for him. And my standpoint on this is that I want to see Mendy to really know what we have, because I think he still has a role to play within this team. Now, I could definitely see us selling him. I definitely can see us sell him. And at some points, I want to see us sell him, because I think it may be good for Mendy to get back to first team football. It has nothing to do with me not liking him. I want him to be at this club. Benjamin Mendy is my man, 50 grand. And I say that because the problem that you run into with João Cancelo playing left back, it's oh my God, it's not that natural with. There are a lot of Premier League teams out there that play with, players that are on opposite sides of the foot. Look at a team like United. United plays with Lindelof, Victor. Then they have Harry back there, Maguire. So those both players are right-footed. Then Tottenham, with their situation, a lot of players over there are right-footed, so there's a lot of teams who do stuff like that. But when you look at Manchester City and you look at the way we naturally play, we play with a lot of natural width. So that's the reason why I think Bendy would be good, because sometimes, let's be real with ourselves, that's what we do on this channel. Honestly, sometimes our games don't be looking pretty, because honestly, remember that point where we were kind of not really flying early on in the season prior to Tottenham? Was a lot of times, it was just inverted positions everywhere. But when you look at us as Manchester City, and Pep knows this, I think Pep knows this better than most, is that we need natural width, and that's the reason probably why John hasn't been playing over every single game. We've been solid when John's been there, but at our best, we are a team with natural width. Forget what every other Premier League team does. We are a team natural width, meaning left footers on left side, right footers on right side. Other than when we get up to the right winger position, that's when we like to kind of change things and have a little bit less certainty there. We'll try out different things, but overall, I think Mendy is definitely needed, or Zinchenko. Obviously, I would like to see it be Mendy, but don't be surprised if you see Zinchenko. On my point there. Now, we know Rodri's been steadily improving to me throughout the calendar of the season, because sometimes we look at Rodri, we would blame Rodri for all types of things. We was blaming him for not being Fernandinho, and I wasn't his biggest fan, because at some point I did want Fabinho. Then Liverpool got Fabinho and they snacked off, and they just went out there and just snatched him up. It really took Fabinho off the market. But Rodri's been a blessing in disguise. And one thing I like about Rodri is that Rodri now is, maybe he's not Fernandinho, but he's coming into his own fold and he's doing things really well. A lot of times when I watch City, what I look for Rodri is I look for him not to make mistakes. A lot of people shout about for his fantastic work. And, honestly, when I look at Rodri, the only thing I want to see is I want to see him not get so far sucked up into the pitch and then, let players come in behind him. And that's really all I look for. You ever notice that there's some players that you look at during the game and you're like, I didn't even notice them during the game, and that's fine. That's brilliant in my opinion, so that's really what I look for Rodri. I look for him to, just not get sucked up and make sure we're solidly defensively as far as a team and as far as an organization. I love his communication too, because you can see him always talking to players. So, Rodri's been phenomenal, but maybe this is a game for Ferner to come back in there. Maybe Ferner would be a part of that defensive five in this case. So don't be shocked if you see Ferner play in this game. So I think that's what he would do there. Now, let's discuss the 5 players going forward, because I'm thinking about this, and I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but I will talk about it in a video I'm going to do with the Champions League. It's not that I'm concerned about it, but man, we have so many forward players that are playing this extra fluid system. It's almost like, how do we fit all of these guys on the pitch together at certain points? After Mönchengladbach game, I started thinking, I'm like, man, we really have all of these forward players, and you see how Gabriel Jesus has had to adapt his role and his mentality as a striker to fit this extra fluid system. Sergio Aguero still got to make that adaptation. How is he going to do it? And when I look at this front 5, I'm like, it's really crazy when you think about it, in my opinion. How do you fit all of these guys onto the pitch at the same exact time? So that's why it's always a struggle for anybody trying to pick what Guardiola's going to do. But let's try to make that attempt. So the way Bernardo is playing, honestly, it might not be a bad idea to give Bernardo a rest in this game, because, honestly, the energy is always there. And anybody who's watching this channel should know one thing about me. I'm always going to call Bernardo Silva the energy, man, because his work rate, his tenacity, his fight and desire to just keep trying things when it might not even be clicking. And now he's firing. Him and João Cancelo was linking up, and Bernardo starting to find his shooting boots that maybe he didn't have early in the season, but we can't play him every game. You know what I mean? So is he a part of that front 5 in this particular game? The one player I think we are definitely going to see, it's funny, I don't even have Kevin up here, is I think Kevin got to play. I really think Kevin has to play against West Ham. So now that if we have Ferner back there, I really think we're going to see Ferner. Is it going to be Kevin in that midfield, or is he going to try something extra clever and put Kevin up top in the false nine position? That's interesting. But I think Kevin's going to play. Let's not worry about what position. But I think we have Ferner. Ferner's back there as part of that midfield. I think we're going to have definitely, I can see Kevin getting some work out of this game because he did play in the Champions League. So he definitely needs, some momentum, get his legs back underneath him as he starts to recover and into himself back into the team since he's been out. So I think we're going to see Kevin. Who else is going to be in the midfield? I think we're going to give Bernardo a rest. Could this be a Foden game? Could this be a Foden game? Could this really be a Foden game? Or I would like to see Foden in the midfield in this game. I think Guardiola should try that. I really think we should see him in the midfield. I really think we should, but don't be surprised if we see Gundogan. But I really think we might see, excuse me, man, that's just disgusting to do that on stream. But I really think we're gonna see Foden in the midfield in this game. And I would love to see that, So now that makes up the midfield of Ferner needs to play in this game, get his legs back underneath him. We got Kevin who's trying to get his legs back underneath him. And then, let's see what Phil does at the midfield, because I think Guardiola was highly critical of the team as far as their lack of position and their lack of clinical wherewithal against Mönchengladbach, being that we got some fantastic positions within the first 15 minutes. And, the collective front three in that particular game probably didn't do it for Guardiola for some reason. So maybe Guardiola takes a step back this game and says, you know what, let's put Foden back in the midfield to see how he adapts to that. But then now you're left with this dilemma to see if you got the holding midfielder being Ferner, and then you got Kevin playing in that box-to-box role, or is it going to be – that's now that I think about it, it might be Gundogan. Gundogan's going to be back there with Ferner, and then you just got Kevin. Don't be surprised if we don't see Phil. That's how fast I could just change my mind, because knowing Guardiola, bro, you never know what this man is going to do. But I would like to see him in the midfield if we can make that happen, because I've always thought to myself, Kevin would be a nice person to have a little bit further back sometimes. And I know Kevin's so sensational as far as his picking up passes, but also we might want to see them goals for him. And if we want to see goals for him, then maybe we can't have him back there. But he brings so much as that box-to-box player. And I really haven't seen that much of that this season. So I'm going to go with a midfield of Ferner, Gundogan, and Kevin. Front three, this is what I'm thinking. This is really what I'm thinking right here. Honestly, I think it's going to be Torres. Torres needs to play in this game. I don't care what nobody says. I got to see my man Torres. I haven't seen Torres in the Premier League game in a minute. And I know Pep be watching the content, because everything I be saying sometimes, or everything this community says sometimes, because I only talk about what you guys, chat at me about. But Pep has just been, adjusting things right in the right way right now, pushing all the right buttons. Maybe this is an opportunity to get Torres back in there, because I really see Torres playing a really big part of our Champions League success this year. But maybe this is a chance that, the man just can't be sitting on the bench and not really getting those minutes to really add to his development, not only in England in the Premier League, but also just his fitness and making sure he's mature with his body, muscle memory. So hopefully, it'd be really interesting to see if Pep gives him a full 90 minutes, because as I think about the league as far as the totality with the league when it comes to Torres has really only started and finished 2 games. Technically 2 games, maybe 3, but I know he played against Tottenham when we lost full 90 minutes. Sheffield United, I'm going to give him credit for starting the whole 90 minutes, basically. I forgot the other team. Maybe there's not another team, but this would be a high-pressure situation to where we could see a little bit from Torres. So it'd be interesting to see if he puts Torres out there. And I would really like to see Pep put Torres out there in this particular game. Starting up front, I think we might see, this might be one of those games where you see Sterling playing up front, because Gabby Jesus just needs a little bit of rest, in my opinion, because obviously a lot of City fans were frustrated and happy for him last game, because frustrated with him in the 53rd minute of that game. If you have to go back, and I don't even want to go back and even talk about it because I was so frustrated at him. But I also was so happy to see him get his goal in the 65th minute with Bernardo providing the assist. But do we play Gabriel Jesus up front in this game? Let me stop sharing this real quick. So, do we play Gabriel Jesus up front in this game? In my personal opinion, I think that this is a game we should rest Gabriel Jesus, right? The man's played a lot of minutes. He provides so much, but maybe he's critical. But Sterling can do that job and not really have to worry about fluidity, because Sterling be moving all around the pitch. It's just kind of with the hold-up play. Who's going to do a little bit of the hold-up play there? But, it's like maybe this is a game that where we see Sterling starting up front and kind of get Sterling off those wings to kind of find Sterling's momentum a little bit as far as scoring, because I think he's been doing a phenomenal job. And to be fair to him, when you watch that Mönchengladbach game and you kind of look at it, he was kind of left out there on the wing in no man's land at times, because he was the only player really keeping that natural width. So he couldn't really get involved in the game. And I see so many people just be critical of Sterling over last game. But sometimes I'm not even coming at those fans, because you are entitled to your opinion. I mean, that's what this is all about at the end of the day. But sometimes you have to look at the game the way it is that Sterling, he's the only one. It's very Leroy used to do a lot of this too. They're forced to keep the wing position extra wide. That's just what they do, like Guardiola is heavily influenced in Sterling, like keeping his width. And you should always, you guys have probably been watching City for a while, but you guys can remember that. Damn, like he used to always be in Leroy's ear about staying out wide as far as possible. Mahrez does a little bit of that too, but I think Mahrez naturally cuts in a little bit more, in my opinion, where Sterling sometimes within games, and Phil Foden does this too, when they are forced to keep that natural width on the left side, sometimes it's very hard for them to get into the game, because they are naturally providing that width, knowing that João Cancelo's cutting in sometimes. So point being there, it's just cuts Sterling some slack. And I really think that this is a game to where we can see Sterling up front for a little bit of the game. Maybe we give him about 60 minutes. And then, bring on Sergio to get Sergio going with the legs again. You know what I'm saying, Pep? Like, time to integrate him back into that team, bro. So this may be the opportunity to do that. Who plays on the right wing? Honestly, I think this may be an opportunity for Mahrez. I really do. I really think that this may be an opportunity for Mahrez, or you play Phil Foden again on the wing and you play Sterling. Well, nah. See, that's how easy it is to change your mind. But I think Bernardo should get a rest in this game. But I would like to see Mahrez on the right, Sterling up top, and my man Torres on the left. Oh my God. I want to see Torres play, and I definitely want to see Sterling. I would just wish sometimes Mahrez can play the wing, the left wing, but that's just asking way too much. So I would be shocked if he put Foden out on the left wing and then drop, Sterling up front and then have Torres on the right. So would be shocked if he does that, but that's just my idea, and I can't just keep guessing away at that for the rest of the live stream here. But those are players I definitely want to see in the game. So just to reiterate, I think there's an opportunity for Stones to get back in the team play. I can see him definitely giving Diaz a rest. But it'd be interesting to see, does he do Stones and Diaz or Stones and Laporte? Give my man Benjamin Mendy, give him a chance. Let the Shark be out there, or put Zinchenko out there, man. Give João Cancelo a rest. João Cancelo's been doing his thing. Tough for him to get a rest. Rodri can go for a rest in this game, because that's not really taking away anything from West Ham. I think that if you put Ferner in there, Ferner's going to be all over Jesse Lingard. If you put him in there, just like Rodri would be all over him, to slow down those transitions and kind of win the ball up higher on the pitch as soon as that Declan Rice has the ball, so put a lot of pressure on that midfield. So I think that Ferner can do that job, but also can Rodri do that job. But I would like to see Ferner kind of start off the game, in my opinion. That's just the way I'm rocking on this video here. I want to see Kevin definitely play. Sergio needs some time, and then man Torres needs some time. Pep, you got to work out the rest. But honestly, at the end of the day, that's all I want to see, family, is another step in the right direction. That could be a game to where we win. I don't care if we win ugly. I don't care if we win pretty. I just want to see Manchester City win. But I am not going to be shocked if we draw this game, Because at the end of the day, this video is entitled, this live stream is entitled, Will the Streak Continue? I mean, I've counted what, 17 wins or 17 matches undefeated. I'm only talking about Premier League specific things. And, I really want to see that killer instinct, keep itself there in the mentality of the team. So that's really what I want to see. If I'm going to go for a prediction, I'm going to go 2-1 Manchester City. I think that's really what I'm going to do. 2-1 Manchester City in this particular game. I wonder why that symbol is there, yo. So connection is fairly good. All right. Yo, Google, holla at them, son. I pay you guys a lot of money. So Google got me, bro. Get that fiber up. But yo, honestly, I just see another win. I know you guys want to see another win, but at the end of the day, I'm going 2-1 Manchester City. I think it's going to be a hard game because we know David Moyes has this team playing well. He's doing his thing with this team. They just added Lingard. Antonio's going to be doing his thing. And then you look at a lot of their in good form. So let's hopefully get a Manchester City win. I'm going to see you guys again. I'm going to be doing a video here shortly about, I think I'm going to do it later on today. Obviously, because bro, I have not been able to sleep since I've been thinking about this. It's like, yo, what are we gonna do in the Champions League, bro? Like, we have so many forward players. Who do you put on in games? Does Guardiola keep it with some type of rotation in the Champions League? See, that's how real it is. When you're a City fan and you know about the Champions League coming up, even though we talk about Premier League on this channel, but you just feel it in your heart. So I'm going to have to do a video about that and kind of just express with you guys my feelings on the Champions League. But I think I might entitle the video Champions League Expectations for this particular year, because I really want to find out from Manchester City fans, what is your expectation of Manchester City this year in the Champions League? What do you expect us to do? And I want to kind of voice my opinion and my concerns with the Champions League, but also what I want to see from the team. So we're going to be talking about that. But until then, I'm hoping for a victory against West Ham tomorrow. I'm definitely going to be seeing you guys after. Stay tuned for content after. I'm probably going to do a review right after the game. I may even try to do my first live stream. Live streams are something that I think may be very difficult for me because I really like to watch the game in totality. But at the end of the day, we'll see. But until then, Manchester City versus West Ham. It's a preview. It's another win or step in the right direction that we need. And at the end of the day, what do we do around here? We do one thing: support City. Let's get it.